Hello, my name is Brad Brad Hunt. That's Brant Hunt Hunt. Today is the 25th day of May, 2022. I wanted to share a personal story. A couple of hours ago, I was pretty upset. I'm still upset, so I'm going to put this out because I feel very strong about this because I know what's going on, how corporations steal from others, and they do. They steal. They really do, folks. They're not such little princes, you see. Um, they really don't care about the peons. Well, the peons on a chessboard is very critical. They better figure that out because if the peons don't want to fight any wars or be involved in your programs or your systems, you're not going to be able to do anything, you see. That's you look at the chessboard, and you find that the most pieces of chess, there are bishops, there are kings, and there's a queen. There's a king and a queen. There's a bishop. Actually, I think there's two, and you have two rooks. I think they're called, and I think you have also two horses, which I guess represents military. So, when you don't participate in their plans, you kind of run their plans amok. So I'm always aware of basically electric companies are monopolies, and that's what they are. They are monopolies, folks. They have a monopoly on certain areas of this country. And when one goes out of business, someone else buys them out. So when I have always lived here in South Carolina, that is here where I live at, it's a company called South Carolina Electric and Gas. Basically, they provide electricity and they provide gas. They made a critical mistake about a few years ago. We won't go into all that. I've done a video on that also. But what happened was was that they decided they're going to actually add another piece of what we call nuclear power here in South Carolina. But most nuclear power is not really cheap to build, okay? But there's also corruption involved. There's enormous what I call white collar corruption. Forget about the blue collar. That's not even anything at all. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but white collar crime is far worse. Because they hide behind lawyers or politicians and get what they want. They buy themselves a way of using crooked laws to actually do harm to other people. So I'm going to give you an example of that. I have no reason to lie to you about anything. So what I do is like the company South Carolina Electric Gas was bought out by Dominion Energy. Interesting name, Dominion. Always, like as though, it comes from the state of Virginia. So I think it has to do with the old Dominion state. But also the word has to do with kingdom and all that type of thing, if you understand Dominion. Also putting dominion over you, controlling you. So I got my electric bill today. I remember seeing it. I want to show some things that really bother me, a couple of things that bother me. I don't want to pay my bill on the internet, okay? I don't. The reason why simply is that if I give information over the internet, it's not exactly safe. You get it? All right? So they charge me an extra $1 per month to be their customer since it's paperwork, you see. But the problem is simply is I am the damn customer. You're not. Okay? You're not. And there is no paper shortage. I have a friend that lives out in the Northwest. Has told me, back frankly, that basically most of the wood is being cut down. A lot of it's being shipped overseas to China. Well, that's the business, yes. But why are you telling people all this stuff about we don't have any wood and this type of thing? Well, of course they don't in some ways. They also are doing two things. They're selling a lot of it to China, okay? So they're making money somehow in some way. And they're charging you more for it because they say they call it a scarcity. They don't have a lot, you see. And part of the quote unquote political correctness, what we call it, which is nothing but lying. That's all it is. It's lying. And put a little face on it and say, happy day. You see, this is all a farce. And the reality simply is they say we don't have a whole lot of wood, and so we just have to charge you more money. You see, there's plenty of oil in this whole world, folks. They just use excuses. They just simply say, they create artificial scarcity. That's what these people do. I would be ashamed if I was actually running a company and doing this kind of crap. You know that? You quote unquote presidents, CEOs, whoever you think you are, you're nothing but a piece of shit. You understand me? Because you can't even do what's right, what is morally right. And I'm gonna express to you what I see. Okay, what I do is simply I did this last year in February. What I did was simply I was cautious about what I call smart meters. So the state of South Carolina allows people simply to disengage that and put in another particular meter that can cause harm to people. So they came in here in February and put it in. They charged me for the meter. That's right. They charged me for the meter. They charged me, I think, roughly. I think it's over. I can't remember. I don't want to remember. I have to look it up. So I can't do that right now because I'm talking to you. So let me explain what burns me up. So they put a new meter in. I cannot. It's not even mine. In other words, that meter I paid for, it's not mine, so I can't take it to anywhere else. It's amazing what these people are about. They can't lose. How in the world can you lose money? You tell me. Tell me how you lose money in that way, okay? But bigly, I doubt even 1% of the people, maybe 2% are actually using this. So the agreement was simply that pay for the new meter, which I did, took it out, paid for it in 6 months. And then what I did was simply I have it in order for them to read it. So they cannot, quote unquote, read it from their truck. So there's not electronic signals going back and forth to the meter. So they had to physically come in my backyard to do that. And I have a gate, a door to the backyard because I have a fence around the whole yard. But things are going to change here with that. So what I do, I pay them, listen to me, I paid them $15 a month to come out here and read it. You see, they've already done me wrong already. You see, they know that they're actually using these smart meters and causing harm to people. And in reality, simply, as the state probably realizes that, the Public Service Committee here in South Carolina, which all the members of these public service committees in South Carolina make over $100,000 to do what they do. Okay, just want to understand these things, how things are really dirty here. I'm sure it's dirtier in the other states too. So what they were supposed to charge me last week, they came by. So I leave the gate open because I got other things to do. I'm really trying to, live a life. I want to do what I want to do, you see. So I leave the gate open. But I told the guy when they leave there, when you leave, you close the gate. That's your responsibility. You don't leave it open. So I'm going to read to you at 10 o'clock a.m. I do this periodically every day, just about. I read on around 10 o'clock because I write it down. I read 6077. So 6077 is kilowatt hours. Okay. All right. So 6077, and what they were before was 5808. Okay. So from 5808 to 6077 comes up with 279 kilowatt hours. But they charged me for 350 kilowatt hours, folks. I'm going to tell you something, you little people out there, these people, you think you're so high up in the presidency, such and such. Your days are over. You're going to fall. You're going to suffer like you never suffered, folks. From now on, when somebody comes to my house and wants to read my meter, I'm going with them and I'm taking a camera and I'm going to actually speak to them. You better read it because I'm reading at the same time you're doing it. And you better not fuck with me anymore. Because you do, I'll call the law on you. I'll have another witness out here to see what you did. So I have right here, they're showing 350 kilowatt hours when reality is 279. So let's go here. Let me tell you another story. Let me continue this whole thing here. Yeah, I am angry. I'm very angry. I was brought up, you don't do that kind of crap. We have companies nowadays that steal from people. So the kilowatt hours that they charged me before this, that is, listen to me, they do this in the summer. So last month, I had 329 kilowatt hours. It charged me 0.11685 during that time. So that is $38.44. They also charged me, just because I have a meter in my house, just simply as they're there, it's been paid for many, many, many times in my lifetime, so to speak, as they charged me $9.50. Okay. And then they charged me $1 simply as because, oh, you don't do it online. Okay. So this is what they do. These are crooks. So this month, which I'm well aware of it, this is the summer, so it's no longer what the price was before. Now they charge me 0.123720. Now, how I'm going to rectify this is very simple. You come in here in my property, on my property, you try to steal from me, you're going to get a hell of a lot of problems in your life. I don't care if you work for them and you did this on purpose or what. But this is not even close. 279 to 350 is off by 71 kilowatt hours. That's called theft, folks. That's called theft. So I noticed when I got an email saying how much it was, I'm saying, why is it so high? Because actually, this is, I try to save. I'm not in here running the air conditioner all the time. I don't. So you charge me, listen to me, folks. This is theft. So 279 to 350. So let's say 280, let's say 71 kilowatt hours more. Yeah, it doesn't add up to probably $7 or $8, such as maybe more than $10, such and such. People say, well, that's not a whole lot. But no. This is the principle, folks. This is a principle. If you can't do what's right ethically in this, what the hell are you doing in other areas? You tell me. So I'm paying you $15 a person that comes out here and pays this to do what I call what is right. And you're not even doing right. That's more, you know what that is? If you're telling these quote unquote people to work for you to edge and change that because people don't pay attention, you got the wrong fellow. You got the wrong person. Because I keep up with it. I would call, I guess, like a bean counter, so to speak. I grew up in a business like this. I check things such and such and what it costs. You're not going to do this shit. You're not. So next time, when you come on my property, Mr. Dominion Energy, you're going to tell me your name. And we're going to walk together into the backyard and we're going to agree upon something. And you're going to tell me what it is. And I'm going to take a picture of you. And I'm also going to record you, sir. You're not going to do this type of shit. So what happened here simply is, then y'all called up the Dominion Energy people. Oh, well, you got to wait. You don't even talk to anybody, folks. This is the most inhumane thing to do. This is the most inhumane thing to do for people. You can't even talk to a human being anymore. And this is the same thing I had with the IRS. They're doing this on purpose, folks. They're doing it on purpose. How much money do you have to make, Mr. Dominion Energy? How much do you have to make? Tell me. You rip off people. So I go to Walmart. This occasionally happens too. I like to check the price on it before I actually ring it up, ma'am. Tell me what the price is. So she'll tell me the price such and such. They gouge people, folks. They steal from you. And your politicians go along with it. I'll tell you another little story here in South Carolina. The company South Carolina Electric and Gas simply is they didn't have the money, so to speak, to quote unquote do this nuclear power plant they were supposed to build, along with Santee Cooper, which is a 49% compared to 51% change in exchange, these two power companies here in South Carolina. And what happened simply is the legislature said this: you can charge your customers to borrow the money. Because, see, the banks wouldn't touch it. So the legislators who get paid to do this shit, you're the bottom of the barrel, buddy boys. You're dirty. You'll come around again and you'll rotate, you'll reincarnate again until you learn your lessons. Yeah, I'm burning up. I'm angry. You're not going to do this shit anymore. I'm an Aries. I'm fire. I don't put up with shit. Especially if people try to cheat me. I don't try to cheat other people. What the hell are you cheating for me? So what's going to happen simply is this. I'll tell him what happened. I'll show him what I've done here on both these papers here. And I'll say simply is, I want to know who you are. I want to know your name. And if you don't give it to me, you're not getting in here. You understand that? Because if I can't trust you to read the meter right, then you're not going to get in my backyard. So you tell me, it could have been an error. I don't know. Who knows what it is? But it sure isn't close. Like 350, it's almost as though someone just walked back here and looked and said, oh, okay, I'll just 350. Yeah, it's around 300 such and such each month for him, such and such, whatever. So they do the same thing at Walmart. I talked with another friend today. Also, they do this at, what is the company called? Target. I think it's a French company. And they do the same thing. They rip people off. This is what they think. They think they're King Almighty. The oil companies think the same thing. And we have politicians that look the other way. And we don't have a government. And so things are going to start changing. This is all going to fall. Just, maybe the main thing simply I'd like to feel like simply, it's got to fall. It's going to have to fall. Enough's enough. This is not going to happen anymore. You're not going to do this kind of crap anymore. And people need to understand that we are all being treated as dirt. All of us are being cheated. If it's not the government, it's everybody almost around us that think that's the way business is supposed to be run, especially the large corporations. And what's happened after this stupid PSYOP they operated on here is that basically what's happening simply is this. They've eliminated just about all the competition now. You see, so you can't go to certain stores hardly anymore to even get things that you compare. They destroyed everything. They've destroyed mom and pop shops. They've destroyed small gas stations. They're no longer any small gas stations anymore. They're all gone. They destroyed the radio industry. There used to be mom and pop radio stations here where I lived at, family-owned companies. They destroyed them. They took them over, bought them out. Then eventually they shut them down. And so you can't find the truth anymore. You can't even lurch for it. That's why I was talking about shortwave radio simply yesterday being more critical, because that's about the last. And I'm not saying they're perfect neither, folks. I'm not saying that. So one other thing I want to say simply is about what's going on here. We need to see the system fall. And basically means simply is that these rotten people who are in office, whatever they are, that's why I propose natural law. We don't need any more government anymore. Government is complicit with all this that's going on. They're involved in it. They're in the back pockets, whatever you want to call it. It's time to forget the belief system, folks. What you've been told is almost all lies about everything around you. Everything. They tell you your food is safe. They tell you it's organic. How do you know it's safe? How do you know it's organic? Tell me. And it's a completely different moral perspective. If I can get away with it, I'm going to get away with it. Are you aware of the phone deal? I read this probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Do you know that the government doesn't even actually enforce it, the FCC? Over billions and billions of dollars of overcharge here in the United States, here in America. Over billions and billions of dollars they make profit-wise. They're not losing money, folks. They're making money. Another issue where I deal with, there used to be a company called Atlantic Broadband, which is my internet service. I don't have television at all. I don't have phone with them. The idea when this whole thing went on, again, is PSYOP. That's what it is, the psychological operation. Look it up. Start learning some things. Our Army and military have always used psychological warfare, folks. The problem is simply is that your government and everybody around you is using psychological operations on you. It's part of cybernetics. They see you as weak, and they're going to run over you unless you stand against them. That's what you're going to have to do. You follow? They're not going to quit, folks. They're going to continue to roll their steamroller right over you until you say no more. And the word no means no. You don't have any rights to do what you do. You cheat other people. You steal. And you don't even pay your workers worth anything, neither, Walmart. You give them wages that are basically a poor man can even survive on. And you say simply it's because they don't have any education. I don't care what it is, buddy. You don't do people like that. What are you? Tell me, what are you? Tell me what you are, you Mr. CEO. Because if you can't, quote unquote, do what's right and do it honestly, you're sure to hell and really in a mess, buddy, because you aren't worth 2 cents. You steal. You lie. So it's what is going on here simply is the sad part simply is that they just simply push and push. And they're going to continue on, folks. They're just going to continue. They're not going to stop. And you're going to have to say no. You're going to have to say, hell no, you're not going to do this to me. So most people don't even pay attention to their electric bill. They really don't. They just pay it. Why should I, now this is critical, why should I be charged $1? Why should it be $1? Why am I being such a problem, such and such? Why should I be charged $1 extra because I want to send a paper statement to me? Back to this whole thing, Atlantic Broadband. I forgot, so I'm just going to explain that. There's no longer an office here in Aiken. So not only that, they don't have a facility anymore. You see, they don't have anybody actually, quote unquote, working that is actually in the office. So they don't have any costs to that building. That building's already been sold. So whatever, if they had a lease on that building, there's no more. So the cost is far less than it was before. You see? You understand what's going on here? So usually when I went there, if I chose to pay for it, so how do you get your equipment? You see, they still have people working out in the field. So they come to your place such and such and make sure everything's correct and connected, So I'm not saying that. But I am saying simply is that the prices go up. And yet your costs, now tell me, your cost is significantly lower than what it used to be. Say that building is probably $2,000 a month. It could be more, it could be less, I don't know. So what you had there, you had 5 or 6 employees there, pretty much 5 days or 6 days a week. So you paid those people. So You don't have to do that anymore. You don't. You cut costs. So if you cut costs, why are you still charging, or not even that? Why are you charging more? You understand what's going on here, folks? No, Dominion is not Canadian, Marie. That's another company. Dominion is Dominion Energy. They've been around for quite a while, but they're not Canadian. Atlantic Broadband was a company was bought out by a Canadian firm, but that's no longer. It's no longer called Atlantic Broadband. It just changed hands 2 or 3 months ago. So that's not what it's a part. Dominion refers to historically the state of Virginia, which is their offices in Richmond, Virginia. It used to be called Old Dominion State of Virginia. So that's where the name, actually, historical name. But it's interesting that the name Dominion also has a perspective or meaning, simply dominating someone. Okay. The critical thing, back to what I was saying about Atlantic Broadband, the owners now simply have less costs. So the offices are in Boston, Massachusetts. They used to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They're now in approximately Atlantic Broadband. It's not Atlantic Broadband. It's called Breezeline is the name of the company. BREEZELINE. They're one of the top 10 companies now with cable, internet, all that, with television and phone in the country. So what I'm trying to explain to you critically is that, if anything, the prices should actually be dropping instead of going up. And that's not true. And like I said, the FCC allows the mobile phone people to basically rip you off. They do. And no one knows that. I'll have to find an article such and such somewhere. It's billions and billions of dollars, folks, and just with mobile phone. Billions. Okay. The company I use right now, as far as I know, I have been with them since late part last year. I would never recommend Bell South, not Bell South, but AT&T. I would never recommend them at all. Nowhere. I had them for a while, but I would not recommend them at all. The bigger the company, the worse they are. The company I use is Tello, Tello. I pay for phone service, and it's $15 or less. Yeah, I already took a picture of the thing. I already took a picture of the reading, such and such. I'm going to find out who the guy here that did this last month. I'm going to find out who that was who did this. And if he comes on my property again, if I meet him or whatever, I will tell Dominion that I don't want him on my property anymore. You need to send somebody else, because I don't like people stealing from me. You see? So, again, my point simply is we're all basically, none of us are rich out here, folks. None of us are rich. We're struggling, all of us, mightily. They're putting more and more pressure upon us because they seek to dominate us. That's what they're seeking to do. And they don't give a damn. They really don't. Their attitude simply is they can do whatever they want to do. And they've gotten away with that. Large conglomerate companies do that throughout the world. So I just want to point this out to people. You need to keep up with your bill. I have, like I said, I've gone away from what I call a smart meter. Do I trust them? No. I actually have a smart meter cover on it. I have a Faraday cage over it because I don't know if I can trust them, you see, because they lie about everything, these people do. I remember talking to the guy who was putting it in. I said, yeah, I put a smart meter cover on. He looked at me like I was some type of guy came from Mars. And I explained to him, I said, well, you guys cheat all the time. Why should I trust you? I don't trust you. It's just like in a relationship, folks. If you can't trust anybody, you make precautions to protect yourself. So that's what I'm saying here. You tell me something, bullshit. I don't believe you. Your word's not true because you don't honor those things. You don't honor who I am. You treat your customers like crap. So either, my point simply is the guy who did this should actually be fired. But I will be there this time. I know when they come here, and I will meet them at the gate, and they'll come to my door, and they'll ask me such and such. I said, okay, let's walk out there, and I'm going to film you, sir, and I'm going to film you when you do all this stuff. You're not going to piss on me anymore. It's aggravating when you have to do this in order to get what you need to get, which is the truth. We have a problem here in this country and probably throughout the world, is that people will do anything for $1. They'll work for somebody, and if the company president says do such and such, they'll do it. They don't see that they're the ones who are actually going to reap the harm of what they do to me. It's not necessarily the guy at the very top is going to get that. It's the guy who does the dirty work. That's what basically what we call the Army and military, Marines, such and such. Who really actually kills somebody on the military battlefield? Is it the President of the United States? No. Is it the quote-unquote military commanders, such and such? No. It's the soldiers who actually reap the karma. They kill innocent people. They don't ever question what their government is doing. They say there's an enemy over there, and they go there. They have what I call so much allegiance in a blind belief that government is good and true, and that they're free, and they're not free. And so when they come back here to this country and they suffer because of what they did to others. They did. That's the way karma works, folks. They suffer. Most of your people in the military have done wrong because they've killed innocent people. And I don't mean to be mean. That's not what this is about. But this simply is, you just can't do these kind of things and get away with it. You can't kill innocent people. You can't kill babies. You can't kill mothers. You can't kill daddies. That's the other thing that bothers me a lot of times simply is that certain lives count. No, all lives count. No one's more better than the others. And until we get that act together, because that's called duality, folks. That's why they separate you. What we need to understand is simply all life is valuable. And until we learn that, people are going to suffer. It's as simple as that. So I said I wasn't going to do a long video. It's over actually 30 minutes here. My point simply is that you need to be watchful on your electric bill. When anybody tells you that they're doing something, you need to watch their words and their actions. Their actions speak louder than their words, folks. And it's not right for people to cheat you. I don't care who it is. Okay? That's why when I actually go to some places, I said, I want to know a price and I want a quote. What I mean, why do you mean that? Because I want to make sure that what you charge me is what you said you're going to charge me. You see, I write it down in pen. I write it by the name who the person that wrote it told me, and I also write the date. Because I know that people simply will find a way to try to get out of something. And I'll just simply point blank and say to them, excuse me, you did say this, didn't you? Because that's what you're selling me. You told me you're going to repair my particular vacuum cleaner for $80 to $85. So I don't see that. So if you're going to repair it, that's what you're going to charge me, between $8 or $85. Unless you call me and let me know it's going to be more. Then we'll see. So this is how you have to deal with people nowadays, because people don't tell the truth. They just don't. It's just the way it is. It's a sad situation, folks. It's really sad. I was going to say something else, but I can't. But the other thing people don't understand simply is that they make it harder and harder for you to talk to somebody now than ever before. When my dad and me, and I was involved in the business my father owned, we didn't put anybody on hold. We might say, put you on hold, but I spoke to him first and said, hello, such and such. I'll be right with you. Hold on. Okay. That's not what's doing now. It's all automated. You don't even hear, you just hear a recording. Okay. So you're treating me as a customer, you're not treating me with respect and honoring me as a human. It's called inhumanity. This is inhumanity. That's what's going on. So what they're doing is they're treating you as though as though you have no importance, even though you're a customer of theirs. You see? When I called the people here at Dominion today, they told me it's going to be a 45-minute wait. Wait a minute. Hold on here. Hold. My time is more important than sitting here and waiting for you to call me. Not only call me back, they didn't tell me to call me back. They just simply said, you got a hold here. I said, heck with that. I'm not going to hold. See, this is what they do to you. They're robbing you of your energy. They're causing things to be more confusing. I also want to point out simply is that even the computer companies now are making it harder for you to do certain processes that were much easier 10 years ago. For example, I'll say this. This little thing here. You see this right here? It's called Microsoft 365 Personal. All right. You know that this used to be free? This used to be free. You know you had to pay a license fee to use it, which I'm well aware of that. But something of this nature is over $80 to $100 for a year. Now you tell me who's making profit here, folks. It's sick. You used to get this in your computer. You used to get a disc. They don't do that anymore. Their excuse simply is they don't have a DVD or CD drive. That's not a good excuse, folks. You can still do the stick or the thumb drive. Why don't they provide that? You see, it's just an excuse. They don't want to give out anything at all. So anyway, like I said, I'll let you guys go. I appreciate your attendance. Thank you, Maria, for commenting. I wish you well. Again, if there's any comments here, you got to understand, folks, what is happening now. It's a war. It's a war to destroy. It's a war of attrition, and they're going to try to grind you down and try to tear you apart. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to discourage you to give up. That's what psychological warfare is, and this is psychological warfare, folks. All this, what's happening right around us with this whole crap about you can't talk to anybody, all that. That's psychological warfare. They decided that they don't need you, and you're gonna bow down to them. And I'm saying, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm not gonna let you do that. You see, you're not gonna do that. No, sir. Because you have to go on my property, and you have to come on my property. So my domain is here. So you can't do what you want to do. In fact, what you've done is you come in on my property and actually, quote unquote, have lied to me about something that you were supposed to do the truth about. That was on my property. You see. So I don't know where you get these morals or beliefs, but I believe this is all top down. I can understand basically if it was like 4 or 5 kilowatts hours off. I understand that because I did this at 10 o'clock in the daytime. So they may have not showed up to 12 or 1 o'clock. Well, I'm not going to use no more than 10 kilowatt hours per day. You see, I know what I make every time. It's 10, 11 kilowatt hours a day usually. I know the average per day in my average such and such. So I was trying to save money this month, and that's what I was doing. I was not running the air conditioner, so I see I can save some money. And then somebody comes along here and cheats me. No, you're not going to do this. So I appreciate your attendance. I'm warning you right now, even if you have the people tell you that it's not, quote unquote, a smart meter, they're lying to you. They're frankly lying to you about everything they do. And the employees a lot of times don't know what they're doing. They just do what they're told. Just like the soldiers in Germany, they were told to do this and they did it. And they reap the karma. And the person that did this is going to reap their karma too. If you did that for $1 or $2 more or whatever, $10, $15, whatever. Now, the sad part simply is I'm paying them $15 to do this. That's what burns me up too. So every month I have to pay $15 for someone to get out of their vehicle and come here and do this. You understand? Because I don't want a smart meter on my house. So I'm being punished for doing what's right. That's what I'm being done. That's what's being done to people who try and do what's right. They're being punished. You understand that? That's what these people are all about. They want to push their agenda. They're stinking Agenda 21 programs. That's what they're doing. But they're liars. That's all they are. They have no power over you. You're the ones that have the power. You just gotta let them know who's got the power. Okay? All right. Have a good evening. Thank you for listening. Appreciate the comments, Marie. You got any other questions? I'd be more glad to ask you. If you have things like this happen to you, I'm warning you, folks. You need to pay attention to what these people are doing. You see, you don't have any idea what they're charging you on your bill. You really don't. When they're going by you, the guy is there. He's checking out. He's doing a deal with that. You don't even know if that's even true or not. You have no idea. Okay. Take care. We'll talk to you another time.